There are two things that I can guarantee you about your creative career, right? The first thing is that you're bound to make mistakes or fuck ups or even fail in some cases, to the point where you're gonna feel like throwing in the towel or just giving up on the whole thing. I mean, why should you even try? The second thing is that none of the projects that you're ever gonna create as a creative are ever gonna be 100% perfect. No matter how many hours you put into it, how many people you call to work on the project, what softwares you use, what laptop, whatever setup you're going to use to create that project, there's always going to be that 1% room for improvement. But before we dive into this topic of discussion today, let me just introduce myself quickly for those of you that are viewing my channel for the first time. My name is Courtney Thomas and I'm a creative entrepreneur based in Bulawayo, Zimbabwe. And today I just wanted to talk about the topic of perfectionism. Perfectionism isn't really about quality. It's more about emotional safety, if you want to think about it like this. It's the fear of, if we finish, we're then able to get our work critiqued by the world. If we actually finish that project and put it out into the world, a lot of people are going to see it. That leaves us open to critique. And a lot of people can't handle negative criticism or even constructive criticism. Some people are afraid that because they put in so many hours into an edit, that if it doesn't get the amount of views that they think it should get, they're failed. And the truth is, no project is ever going to be perfect. I know of movies that are out there in the world that were shot by on some amazing equipment by amazing directors and written by amazing scriptwriters, but they didn't get much views or traction in the box offices or on the streams, you know what I mean? There's YouTube pages where the quality is 30 times greater than what I'm doing for you all now, and they're still not getting views, you know what I mean? Sometimes it's not really about being perfect, it's more about having a quality project, you know what I mean? Although quality and perfection, it becomes a tango, a dance between the two that we often have as creatives, and it goes on forever, dancing all night long. You know what I mean? But just to give you a little bit of a backstory on the whole topic of perfectionism. I started off as a music producer, let me rather say a beat maker, because music production was far from what I was doing back then. And for a lot of the beats that I made initially, I really spent a lot of time trying to perfect them, trying to, make the sounds pan right, trying to make sure everything is in key, whatever it is that makes a song perfect, you know what I mean? I did that, I spent those hours, and I found that I ended up not releasing a lot of projects, as well as members of my team at the time. We didn't release a lot of projects because we were chasing perfection. And perfection is like that 1%, you know what I mean? That 1%, that thing that you're trying to get right. And sometimes a project is perfect when it's at 70%. Especially from a client's point of view, because they're seeing that logo that you created for them, that, rough mock-up, what you calling a rough mock-up, and saying, yo, this is it, send it to me, I want to use it, I want to put it on my website, I want to start printing it out. And you're still trying to get to that 100% when the client was satisfied at 70%, you know what I mean? And that's what causes the problems that we face. That's what actually causes the problems that come with perfectionism, because you find a lot of us that are perfectionists, I don't know, excuse the English, I'm gonna make mistakes, you know what I mean? I'm gonna say that I'm gonna make mistakes. But anyway, back to the topic. A lot of us that are perfectionists, being cooked by the English today, but anyway, a lot of us that are perfectionists spend a lot of time trying to take our project to 100%, and yet it was done at like 70, 80, 90, 95%. We're trying to achieve that 100%, which is actually unattainable, because that's now your ego actually talking to you and not actually the project being done. But anyway, let's move on to how can we overcome this cycle or loop of perfectionism that we like to put ourselves into as creatives. And one thing that I found that's worked for me is I'll do a lot of the work in one afternoon. Like if I'm creating a flyer, for example, I'll do the background, put the characters in that need to be seen, all the information, that kind of thing, do just basically the layout. And then I'll come back after 24 hours and look at it again and not really critique it from a critique's point, but critique it from an editor's point. You see, so I'll be like, okay, maybe I can change this, maybe you should change that, change this, that, or the other thing about that flyer. But then I'll do that and then take a break from it again and come back to it and then look at it from a critique's eye to be like, if I was the client or if I was to be in the client's shoe, what did I say about this? I would try and imagine a scenario where I'm him or her that I'm trying to supply my service to. And I'll be like, okay, maybe I think they'll say this, maybe this number. I'll try and notice maybe the phone number's wrong, whatever it is, and then I'll move on from there. But basically, to stack it into a system or like a way, a methodology, let's break it into 3 things again. I think we're gonna stick with giving 3 things. I think that works really well. The first thing I would do before starting any project to avoid getting caught into the perfectionism loop is